serious matters. Today, I will be speaking on the topic racism and focusing on racial discrimination against the blacks. By June this year, Russia will be hosting a very important sporting event, and that is the FIFA World Cup. One of the major talking points as regards Russia hosting of the World Cup was the case of racism, as Russia is known as a major hotbed for racial discrimination, particularly against blacks. This was so bad that Yaya Toure, the Ivorian footballer, made the call that if Russia does not do something about its racist attitudes, the blacks may end up boycotting the 2018 FIFA World Cup. We all know the meaning of racism as a discrimination or prejudice based on race. But we need to ask ourselves this question: what is the cause of racism? Why is it that some people have this feeling to discriminate others based on their race? How did it come about within them? The answer is the feeling of superiority. Those who discriminate others feel that they are superior to those they are discriminating, as no one will discriminate those they look up to. In the minds of this racist, there appears two sets of people: themselves, who they believe are superior, and those people they are looking down upon, which they believe to be the inferior. Unfortunately, the black man has been placed in the inferior position for a very long time. This can be seen during the slave trade, where the black man was exported to Europe and America as if they were just commodities. We can also see examples of racism in racial killings, which is very predominant in America, like the case of Trevor Mountain. We can also see this in football. A lot of African players have been segregated and insulted by racial comments. One example of such players are the likes of Mario Balotelli, the Italian footballer, Samuel Eto'o from Cameroon, Emmanuel Eboe from Ivory Coast, and Osaze Odemige from Nigeria. Sometimes these players leave the pitch. Some of them have tears in their eyes. But then, we need to ask this question: this feeling of superiority, is it peculiar to a particular race? Are the whites the only ones that feel that they are better than others? The answer is no. Every single race in the world feel that they are better than the others. For example, the Benin Kingdom, South Nigeria. This black African kingdom has this belief that they are better than every other race in the world, which can be seen in the names they call themselves, their children, in their songs and parables. We have names like Oba Yangon, meaning the Oba, which is a name for the Benin king, meaning that the Oba owns the world. They also have the names that Oba Yanto Yasewebu, meaning the Benin's believe that they own the world even as far as Europe and America. You also hear the names like Edo Isiagbon, which means that Benin City is the center of life. But the issue is, why is it that today the black is primarily hammered with racism? Why are the blacks today the most discriminated race? In 1883, Sir Francis Galton, a respected British scholar, pioneered the teachings which he called the eugenics theory. Eugenics was aimed at improving human genetic composition by selective breeding. This movement was very popular in Europe, and by the 19th century, the movement started in America with the aim of stopping negative traits from being transferred from one generation to the other. And they had the plan to sterilize individuals that are thought to be unfit in order to prevent them from transferring these negative traits to their offspring. However, the theory of eugenics turned into a whole new dimension with the advent of Hitler and Nazi Germany. Hitler expanded this eugenics theory to form race hierarchy, whereby every race in the world were placed in an hierarchy. The Germanic tribes, or the Aryans, were referred to the most superior race in the world. This comprises of Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Britain, the Dutch, and northern France. Just below them were the sub-Caucasians, which include Italy, Greeks, Spain, Portugal, and southern France. But my point of interest here is the place where the black man was placed. The blacks were placed at the bottom of this race. The blacks were even referred to as non-humans. Although this theory of eugenics was disbanded by many countries simply because Hitler used this as a reason to cause discrimination and destruction in the world. But that stereotype has already been implanted in the mind of so many people. But the question is that the very reason why the blacks are still discriminated even up to this day? The answer is no. Contrary to so many people's belief, the black man is not discriminated based on the skin. The blacks are discriminated and racially segregated simply because the black man as a whole has not shown to the world why they should be respected. The skin color is not actually the reason why the black man is segregated. There have been some individual black men, the likes of Philip Emeagwali, the likes of Ben Carson, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, although he turned himself into a white man, and then Tiger Woods. These are blacks of repute. But the issue is the blacks as a whole, as a nation, as a people, have not been able to come together to show to the world why they should be respected. Countries like Britain, Germany, France, Canada, the USA, and other developed countries in the world became developed not by individual efforts. It was the effort of the people coming together to push their country to a greater height. However, in Nigeria, in Africa, an individual is just happy that he or she is better than the whole of the country. This is the very reason why Africa is segregated and discriminated. Apart from that, there have been cases of other non-blacks, other non-Africans that have been experiencing discrimination and racial prejudice. For example, Bulgaria, although they are not blacks, the Bulgarians were expelled from France in the year 2009. This is because, although they are not black, but compared to the French people, the Bulgarians cannot be compared in wealth, in technology, and the way of life. So they were looked down upon based on that. Another example were the Chinese. Before now, the Chinese were segregated in America. They were looked down upon. They were made to do all sorts of menial jobs. The Chinese were made to do hard labors because they will do just any work just to make money. As a matter of fact, there was the Exclusion Act of 1882 that prevented Chinese migrants from entering the USA. So, but today, no one looks down on the Chinese because the Chinese today are the second most powerful economy in the world. Who would look down on such a people? Previously, the Japanese were derogated in America and Europe. They were called insultive names like the Japs. But today, no one looks down on the Japanese. Why? The Japanese are today one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. The Japanese have some of the most advanced train stations in the world, whereby just 1 minute lateness is too much. Japanese have a very functional system of government. In Japan, we have the highest number of artificial intelligence that is working or that are working in companies. So who would look down on such a people? Even the Russians that are looking down on the blacks today were previously segregated by majorly the Western Europeans. They were called savage. They were called uncivilized and backward people. They were invaded several times. One, Napoleon. The Germans invaded them. This is because people look down upon them as easy to overrun. But today, no one is looking down on the Russians because they have been able to show to the world why they should be respected. This was the country that first took man to space. This is a country that produced the like of Dmitry Medvedev. This is a country that is so technologically advanced in terms of military. Who would want to look down on such a people? The Germans were also looked down upon during the time of the Roman Empire. They were called the barbarians. But today, they have been able to prove to the world why they should be respected. Today, Germany is the most economic power in Europe. How can you look down on the people that today produce some of the most fascinating cars in the world? You cannot look down upon them. So the issue is not the skin color. The issue is that the black man has not been able to show to the world why they should be respected. These other countries were initially, these other people were initially looked down upon, but today they were being respected because they work together to push their country to greater heights. But what are the Africans doing apart from laying back and waiting to be exploited by others? So the issue is not your skin. The issue is that the black man has not been able to show to the world why they should be respected. So it is not based on the skin color. It is based on the attitude. Today, Africa is still a continent that is saddled with corruption. A typical African leader does not care if he or she is the president of the poorest country in the world. They don't care as far as personally they can show that they are not poor. After all, they are not like the rest of the country. They can show their fascinating private jets. They can show their beautiful castles, and their children can attend some of the best schools in the world. They don't even matter if the entire wealth of the country has been passed into their pockets, which is now making them feel rich. Africa is a bedrock of corruption. This is a continent where people have lost means of excuse that they now blame animals to have swallowed money. This is a country where a leader embezzled funds that was made to fight terrorists that is destabilizing even his own government. How would you want people to respect you? Okay. Another reason why Africa is segregated is due to poverty. Today, African countries survive by foreign aids. How do you expect people to respect you? This is a continent where people risk their lives in the desert, at the Mediterranean Sea, just to get to Europe. And then some of them go there with tattered clothes. How would you expect to be respected? As a matter of fact, even the Africans would not respect the white man if the reverse was the case. Black is beautiful. When God created mankind, He said that it was good. That means black, inclusive, except we are saying that the black man was not created by God. So it is not the case of our skin. We are the reason why people call us shithole countries. We need to put our hearts together to make ourselves a people of reputation. Not until we start giving aid to Europe and America, we cannot be respected. Not until we start producing the things we use, we cannot be respected. Finally, as a black man, I won't feel insulted when people call me a black monkey and throw me banana. Because personally, I know that there are also white monkeys and all monkeys eat banana. Thank you for viewing. See you next time.